Well, I know the Yankees have been struggling lately and fans are disappointed, but at least fans at the ballpark on Friday night got to have an extra giveaway. Free baseball night, courtesy of Carlos Rhondon.
He hits this one in the air. Riley hits one a ton. Olsen lifts one toward right field.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Today is Saturday, June 22nd. Hello, if you are at the pool. I would have liked to have gone to the pool today, but some idiot dropped glass and broke it, and they had to shut down the entire pool. So that's the second weekend in the last month since the pool has opened that it's gotten shut down because some idiot has broken glass. Stop bringing glass to the pool, people. Get yourself a rubber water bottle. I know it's hot in the sun. I know you need to hydrate. No glass at the pool. Anyway, every team goes through some bad stretches, and we got a lot of voicemails last night that wanted to weigh in on this recent bad stretch by the Yankees. I don't always do a voicemail show on the weekend, but we had so many calls that I didn't want to wait till Monday to answer them. And plus, we're closing in on 40,000 subscribers. Last I checked, we're at 39,968, something like that. So about 30 some odd subscribers. I got the tickets this morning, Wednesday, September 25th against the Orioles. Once we hit 40,000, we're going to do a giveaway, giving away some tickets. Perhaps you'll see the Yankees clinch the division in person. That would be amazing. But anyway, it was a lot of calls last night and a lot of messages about how disappointing this recent stretch by the Yankees has been. We also had some comments that, can be merited that say, hey, chill. This is just a bump in the road, right? This is a long season. Every team goes through ups and downs. And to be fair, that's true. Every team does go through ups and downs. But I don't like to ignore red flags. I'm not the type of person who gets in the car and sees the check engine light come on and says, nah, I'll take care of it next week. I get that shit fixed because you don't want to have a problem. Carlos Rhondon right now has the check engine light on. He's had 2 really bad games in a row, and he's pitching a lot like the guy who had the 6.85 ERA last year, and not the guy who had the 2.5 ERA for the first 15 starts this year. I don't know what flipped, but he needs to get it together. Is it just location? Hopefully. Will he turn it around? Maybe. But the body language has got to improve. I don't want to be the guy who picks on a guy for being upset in the dugout. I mean, that's just not who I am as a human being. I get it. Human beings have emotion. But you got to be tougher than that as a professional athlete. We got to see better body language. I want guys to be pissed when they lose, but I don't want him crying on the bench. Maybe that makes me insensitive. So be it. But when a guy gets his ass kicked, I'd much rather see him smash a water cooler or chuck his glove against the wall, or even be stoic, stare out at the field and say, hey, you know what? They kicked my ass. I'll make some adjustments. I'll go get him next time. But to sit on the bench in tears, it doesn't show me that you care. I already believe that you care. It says, let's look at it this way. If you're pissed and smashing stuff, it says, I wasn't good enough. I'm angry about it. Right? And I can live with that. But to be sitting there weeping like your dog just died, it says, I'm not good enough and I'm sad about it. And I wasn't good enough and I'm angry about it, and I'm not good enough and I'm sad about it are 2 vastly different things in my opinion. Ken Rosenthal has this expression that he likes to use for the Blue Jays. He calls them paper tigers because they always look great on paper, and then when you get out on the field, they don't do much. In my estimation, the Yankees have looked like paper tigers the last week or so. They expected to go out there and win based on what they've already done, their stats that they've already accumulated, their names on the lineup card. They've gone out there expecting that the game is going to be handed to them, and that's not the case in Major League Baseball. You got to go out there and compete every day. And we have not seen that from the Yankees recently. The body language has been terrible. And I don't want to be the guy that beats up on the same dead horse over and over again, but we have got to see more swagger out of this team. But that's a good time to bring up who we got going tonight. Marcus Stroman on the mound tonight. I think he might be just the guy to turn this ship around. He's 6-3 on the season, 3.08 ERA. He's made 15 starts, 84 2/3 innings. He's got 61 strikeouts, 1.299 ERA, so almost 1.3. So the whip, I'm sorry, 1.29 whip. So the whip is not great. But, last time out against Boston, he got clobbered for 7 hits and 4 runs, so that hurt that. Command wasn't sharp, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. The time before that, though, against Kansas City, threw 5 1/3 shutout innings. He pitched really, really well. And call me an optimist, but I think he's going to stop the bleeding tonight. I really do. He seems like the type of personality that will put a stop to this nonsense. We also need Juan Soto to get it going. I'm starting to get a little bit worried that he might be hurt. We had some suggestions. Maybe he should get an MRI. He's already had an MRI. He's just been ice cold since he come back from that injury, that forearm injury. When he's hitting, it makes Judge and Volpe that much better, that much more dangerous. It makes the top of our lineup a gauntlet that is difficult to be reckoned with. But when he's out, or when he's not playing well, or Judge is out and not playing well, it just changes the whole complexion of the top of the order. So we need Soto to step up tonight. We need Judge to continue to swing the bat. Volpe been swinging the bat better. He had another hit last night. I'm liking the way he's made some adjustments. Last year, we would see him go into these really long, prolonged slumps and just struggle to get out of it. This year, he's gone into some slumps, but he's pulled himself out a few times. He's made adjustments. Is he as good as Bobby Witt or Gunnar Henderson? No, he's not. But he's going to be a damn fine, good player in this league. He's going to be a 280, 290 hitter who hits 10 to 15 home runs, probably gets 180 hits, probably swipes 25 to 30 bags. Could probably steal more if he wanted to. He had last night stolen if it wasn't for the bad call. But top of the order needs to lead the charge tonight. Jump out to an early lead off of Charlie Morton. Tack on in the middle and get a good starting pitching performance for Marcus Stroman. Nostra Derek pick for tonight, and I'm going to bring back Nostra Derek. I got to figure out a way to incorporate it more, but I think I'm going to start working it into the morning voicemail show. My pick for tonight is Ben Rice. Ben Rice, I think, goes deep for his first Major League home run tonight against Charlie Morton. All right, let's take some voicemails.
Hey, Derek, this is Joe from Connecticut, big fan of the show. I don't know, man. This team, I didn't want to say it, but it's starting to make me feel a lot like 2022. I think they're better than 2022, but it feels like the same thing is starting to happen, and I'm starting to get a little worried. I just want your thoughts.
2022 was difficult because the Yankees got off to such a great start. They were on a historic pace. They were winning a lot of games like this team did based on really strong starting pitching early on. They were winning a lot of close games. I never felt like that team's offense, other than Judge, was very good. I felt like they were kind of lucky, honestly. And they were eking out a lot of close games. Judge was getting walk-off home runs. I think he had 3 or 4 walk-off home runs. He had a 10 WAR. But without him, they would never have gotten off to that kind of start. You know, he was just out of his mind. And he's been really good from May onwards this year. And Soto's been really good all year long. But you've got to have a more balanced team. That's what we saw with the Orioles. The Orioles have a really good, young, balanced team. Now, it's not possible, I don't think, for the Yankees to get better than the Orioles, like top to bottom. I really don't think so, because they're just so young and cheap and just hungry. But the Yankees can give themselves a much better shot. They need a third baseman. We just had a comment about Gio Urshela, and this is from Jordan Goat 1. How would you feel about trading for Gio Urshela? Look, Urshela isn't horrible. We know he's a good third baseman. He's hitting .278 with 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. We know he's a good clubhouse guy. 91 OPS, though. It's not good, but it's better than what we're getting out of LeMahieu. I don't think he would take much of an offer to bring him back. And I think that, this is a really good idea. I know he's not a great player. He's got basically a zero WAR. But we've seen players late in their career, like Gio, who's now, how old is he? 32 years old. He's, on the back nine of his career, to be sure. By being injected into a pennant race, it can raise your adrenaline levels. It can raise your performance levels. The Tigers are not going to win the division this year. They got no shot at the World Series. But you bring in Urshela, who already fits in well with the clubhouse, already fits in very well with the Yankees culture. The fans love him. The fan base loves Gio. I miss Gio. And he's a hell of a third baseman. Like, you're not going to lose anything defensively over LeMahieu. And he's at least got a little bit of a hitting ability. 278 with 2 home runs. He's not a power guy. We don't need a power guy. We really don't. We need contact ability. And he's still difficult to strike out. He struck out 25 times this year in 158 at-bats. That's not amazing. But he's got a little bit of thump. He's got 6 doubles, 2 home runs. No extra base hits yet for DJ LeMahieu. I'm not opposed to that, and I appreciate the suggestion. And he won't cost much. 100% correct.
NYY Recaps. What's going on? This is Brian from Albany. Man, the Yankees just been looking awful. How quickly this team has fallen apart has been pretty incredible, to say the least. I wanted to just hit you with a quick trade proposition. Not necessarily who we'd be giving up, but just another player to look for. I've heard a lot of people mentioning Tanner Scott, obviously Crochet from the White Sox, and all the big names, but I haven't really heard anybody mention Oakland A's setup man, Lucas Erseg. The guy has been pretty filthy all season long. I think he's still under a 3 ERA. His team's been trash, and he's still been able to pitch to under a 3 ERA, which is pretty impressive. And he's been doing it for Miller the whole time. Look, take a peek at this guy's baseball savant page. Almost everything is in red. Looks like he really has a complete game. He has some swing and miss stuff. I know he's not Mason Miller from the same exact team, but this guy should be a lot easier to grab and would still be pretty effective. Just seeing how we need a plethora of bullpen arms to come in. I just think that's another one I haven't heard anyone mention yet. All right, take it easy, Derek.
Well, I appreciate the call, Brian. I'm going to pull up Erseg's numbers on Baseball Savant. So you're right that he does have a lot of red. I mean, his red is good, as our friend Aiden likes to say. 3.76 ERA this season, 26 1/3 innings, 31 strikeouts. Hard hit percentage is very, very good, 97th percentile. Average exit velocity is 99th percentile. Fastball velocity, average 98 miles per hour, 98.5. So he's in the 98th percentile. Good chase rate, good whiff rate. But you're nuts if you think that other front offices aren't talking about this guy. He's 29 years old. I guarantee every team in the league that needs pitching has asked about him already. But the A's are in no rush to trade any of these guys. They're going to wait till the deadline because that's when they'll get the most for him. Right? I'm sure they have an asking price right now, and it's astronomical on all these guys. But it's in their best interest to hold on to those assets until they're at their highest value, which will be July 31st, 2024.
Hey, Derek. This is Carl from Florida. I was just watching the post-game recap here after the Braves game here tonight, and I got to say that definitely right about Soto. A few things just want to mention. One definitely about Soto. He looks like there's definitely something wrong with him. And you were talking about Boone needs to step it up and get on the players and everything. But I think it's just time for a players-only meeting, personally. And also, you need to get the clip from a league of their own. There's no crying in baseball. Attach that to Carlos Rodon's.
Actually, he was crying here.
reaction in the dugout. Anyhow, like your show, it's great. Do some good work there. Keep up the good work. And let's go Yanks, man. You can't give up.
I appreciate the call.
Take care.
I appreciate the call. We're not giving up. We're not giving up. I'm worried about Soto. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Ever since he's come back from that arm injury, the extra base hits have fallen. He's still taking at bats where he's drawing walks and making the pitcher work, but something seems a little bit different. The swag isn't quite the same. The confidence doesn't seem quite the same. And that's a problem. I hope that the All-Star break, maybe he sits out. I'm sure he'll be selected to the All-Star game. I hope he decides to sit it out and rest the arm and take a week off and come back strong for the second half. You know, it's tough to play every day, especially in the sweltering heat. Right now, we're already having one of the hottest summers on record. I know a lot of people think that climate change is BS, but they're wrong. It's getting hotter. You can measure it. And people are playing in hotter conditions than ever before. And we're human beings. We're not changing. The climate around us is changing. So, hopefully they're able to get him rest and he comes back strong after the All-Star break.
Hey, Derek, great show. The bullpen, obviously, that's the hot topic. You know, there's a couple players out there we can always go after. At what price? But I agree with you. It's this year, man. It's this year. We are all chips in. We are all in.
Yeah, we gotta make some moves here. Now, like I said, teams are not going to be in any rush to move their players until the trade deadline. You start to see moves really heat up about 2 weeks ahead of the deadline. Things start to fall in place. You know, teams make their best offers and so forth. I think the Yankees are definitely going to address multiple areas this year. I really think Gio Urshela could be a possibility for third base. I think they're going to go out and get at least 1 or 2 relief pitchers. At least. If not more. They might get 3. Wouldn't shock me if they went out and got a starting pitcher too. Now, we are going to get Clark Schmidt back at some point in August. I think he could slot right into either the rotation or the bullpen, depending on where we need at that point. David says, the heat will wear you out. Also, there are crazy jobs like roofing, and no one can take this heat very long. Yeah, the heat is awful right now. I just walked my dog, like right before this, and I was drenched. It was like a 5-minute walk, and I had to change my shirt before I came on because I was wearing a Yankee shirt, and it had just like, I had already soaked through in like 5 minutes. The heat's ridiculous. So, Richard C. says, how about replacing Glaber with Ha-Sung Kim? Look, teams aren't just going to give you players. Not going to work that way. The Yankees are going to have to figure something out with Gleyber Torres because they're not going to bring him back. He's not going to re-sign. His price is plummeting. You're not going to be able to trade him for much. And I don't think he's the type of guy that's going to really help carry you down the stretch. To me, he's another guy whose body language has become defeated. He seems mentally defeated to me. And that's not a good state to be in as a professional athlete.
Good evening, Derek. Great show always. I was going to call yesterday after that debacle yesterday. And my general theme is that, I don't know about other managers, but Aaron Boone is just about the worst manager of pitchers that I've ever seen. But worse, there's nobody worse than the Yankee in the last 30, 20, maybe 50 years. He takes out Cole on Wednesday after 62 pitches. And I understand you want to hold him back because he comes from an injury, but he could have pitched another 10 or 12 pitches. He leaves Hill yesterday, and they're killing him. And I knew by 3-1, I knew that Hill did not have the game yesterday. And then today, he leaves Rhondon, and he gives up 8 runs. I just saw Boone's post-game show. He's talking about, well, the Rhondon settled in after the 4th and 5th inning. Well, he had given up 8 runs by then. I mean, come on. He lost the game already. And as far as going back to yesterday, the series with the but the Orioles wasn't lost yesterday. That was a debacle anyway. It was lost on Wednesday when he took Cole out. That's when.
All right, I appreciate the call. It's a long voicemail. Guys, when you're calling in, just remember to try and be succinct. You know, if it's 4-5 minutes long, I'm obviously not going to be able to play the whole thing. People don't want to listen to that. So try and keep your questions succinct and to the point, and I'll try and keep my answers the same. Boone definitely perplexes me sometimes with his pitching moves. I don't know about the worst I've ever seen. Joe Torre was pretty bad with the way he used Scott Proctor. He basically killed a couple of relief pitchers. He would keep putting in Farnsworth, who couldn't get anybody out in huge situations, and he had no command. I think Torre, honestly, even though the 4 championships under Torre, I think he was one of the worst at managing the bullpen that I've ever seen. Now, Boone, when it comes to starting pitchers, we've seen him make a lot of mistakes over the years, leaving guys in too long, pulling guys too soon. It becomes evident just from watching the game on TV that a guy is done. Everything's out in the middle of the plate. The guy's body language is bad, and he leaves him out there to cook for another inning or two. I think he's got to get better at recognizing when guys are having great swings against his starting pitchers. Anyway, CFJ says, I'm not as optimistic about the Yankees' ability to improve through trade after all the recent injuries to their prospects like Dominguez. Well, they were never going to trade Dominguez anyway. They're never going to trade. Dominguez is the future of the team, and he's cheap. He's got a huge marketing following already. They're not going to trade him.
Morning, Derek. Nick from South Carolina. Just got done watching last night's game, and, I can take losing to the Orioles. I can take losing to Boston. And I can even take losing to the Mets, but I cannot take losing to Atlanta.
That's an interesting take because, the Red Sox are worse than Atlanta. They are our biggest rival. You would think that the Red Sox, losing 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox in Boston, would be that bothers me more. Braves are a good team. I don't like losing at home. I don't like when the Yankees get humiliated at home like they have the last few games. But, hopefully they make some adjustments.
Hey, Derek, it's a save situation. Congratulations on your newfound success for the voicemail show.
All right.
I really like it. I think that your comedy's on point. And your rant from yesterday's game, spot on, solid, directly to the point. There's no words to even explain or observe what the hell's going on. It reminds me of the beginning of 2022, which immediately turned into 2023, like overnight. The biggest thing I'm concerned with is Cashman's roster construction. Why are you, DFAing Victor Gonzalez and Hill is still on this team? Jahmai Jones in the lineup. We have nobody in the minors that is better than that. I'd rather see Oscar Gonzalez in the outfield or even on this team has a lot more MLB experience. I know they had the triple yesterday, but come on, man. There's just, for a team that has this good a record, it just does not mirror the quality that it should be for these decisions for the roster, and it's going to be.
I appreciate the call. So, I've been saying that for years. They just don't bring up a lot of guys from the minor leagues that can step in. Now, we got kind of stung by Dominguez being injured. If Dominguez was swinging the bat right now, he might be the perfect guy to call up and inject some life. But they probably wouldn't do it because he's still blocked by, all the different outfielders we got. Verdugo got the night off last night, but Judge and Soto are both kind of dealing with some injuries. Judge with the hand, and he had some good swings, but Soto with the arm, he's been struggling a little bit. It would have been nice to be able to call up Dominguez and have a ready-made switch hitter who can play all 3 outfield positions, and maybe play him every day for a couple of weeks and give guys days off. Rotate him between left field, center field, and DH, and just give guys the day off. And then, rotate right field Soto and Judge alternating. I think Judge is a much better right fielder than Soto. I'd much rather have Judge out there in right field. But, we can't do that because Dominguez is hurt. Spencer Jones is in Double-A. He's not ready. I think this team has been lacking in the player development department in the outfield for a while. Now we got some guys on the cusp, but they're not ready yet. Actually, I take that back. Dominguez is ready. He's just hurt. Jared Williams says, why was Verdugo out yesterday? Boone said it was just a day off, but he was a little banged up. He ran into the wall the other night against Baltimore. You might remember that fly ball to center field where he was running on a dead sprint. Made an outstanding catch, but slammed right into the wall.
This is Jack again.
Hey, Jack.
What a few weeks. The wheels are starting to fall. Without Judge or Soto, we're like 2023 all over again.
A number of calls just like that, number of comments just like that. I think 2023 gave us all some serious PTSD. But, this team has a chance to turn it around if they can get some good starting pitching tonight, get on a little bit of a run, beat the Mets, get the confidence back, and we need Judge and Soto to start hitting. I think that that Volpe's on his way back, too. I think he's getting ready to go on a heater. All right, let's final thoughts here. Once again, please like and subscribe. We are at 39,969 subscribers, so we are 31 subscribers away from 40,000. I got the tickets this morning for the Orioles game, September 25th. We will give those away as soon as we get to 40,000. We'll do some kind of a random drawing in the chat for people who are in the chat. So go ahead and subscribe because the chat is typically open to only subscribers. Today we left it open for everybody, but post-game shows typically subscribers only to be in the chat. So don't miss out. Also check out NYYRecaps.shop. Listen, guys, I'm trying to grow this channel. I want to do this full-time. If we can make this a full-time thing, I can stream for longer. I can have more shows, and let's get it going. Let's get subscribed. Tell your friends. Share with your grandma. Whatever. Take part in the chat. We'll be here after every single game for the rest of my natural life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you after the game tonight. Marcus Stroman on the mound. Let's hope we get back in our winning ways. I'll see you next time.